I get to hang out in my garage today, my favorite place to be. I wanted to quickly talk you guys through how I'm going to be modifying the doors. So what I'm doing, first and foremost, is I am going to be taking them down the table saw to square them off because they have this edge detail on kind of the back side of the door that has to be cut off in order for my new hinges to work. I'm gonna be doing concealed hinges so that way you don't see them. Before you could actually see them on the face frame of the cabinets, and I don't want that look anymore. I just think it's a little bit outdated. So we're gonna do that, and then I'm going to take MDF strips that I'm gonna cut down, and I'm going to cover up this detail on the cabinet so that way they look like a shaker style. Watch, this is gonna like come back in style. Give it a year. No, I'm just kidding, it's not. So you guys might be wondering at this point, what am I gonna do with this unfinished edge because these doors are plywood. They are plywood, but you didn't really know that they were plywood because they had that routed edge detail, but because I just cut all that off, now you have that yucky edge of plywood. So one option could be I could do edge banding. Another option that I'm going to try is actually just to fill the side of the doors with some Alex Plus. I could use Bondo as well. This is a total experiment, and it might take me a door or two to kind of figure out what the best method is going to be and what's gonna look best. So what I'm going to try first is just the Alex Plus because I can fill everything and sand it down. We're gonna do one whole door painted completely and see if we like it before we commit to everything else. You know what I'm saying? So let's cross our fingers. This could be a cool DIY we have on our hands. Another day, another Home Depot run. Of course, I literally live here. I am literally here every day. It's not even a sick joke. It's the truth. I should honestly start counting how many times a week I come to Home Depot. I mean, it's fine because I love Home Depot. Like, don't get me wrong, it's all good, but I'm always here. So I'm gonna run in, I'm getting some more MDF to make the cabinets. The cabinet front making is going really well. I'll show you guys when I get home how the first one turned out. It turned out so good that we're gonna continue with the process and keep going. The only thing that I've changed is that I am going to end up spraying them instead of hand painting them, but that's no big deal. I'd probably rather do that anyway. It'll just give me a nicer finish. So I'm gonna run in. We are going to get the rest of the materials I need, and we're gonna get to building some more cabinet fronts today. So here are the sheets. They're so affordable. The 2x4 1/4-inch MDF sheets, only 14 bucks. I think I only need maybe 2 of them. I'm gonna get a lot out of just one board in and of itself. So I think I'm gonna try 2. If I have to come back for more, they have plenty. We're gonna start with that first. Okay, the other product that I am using is this MDF bender board. It's also a 1/4-inch thick, and it comes in 3 3/4 inch wide by 8 foot long. So I need this material for the long cabinet doors. It's super affordable. It's only, I don't think you guys can see it, $3.74, and it's kind of over in this lumber area. It's kind of random, but I think they use this stuff for like landscaping to make edges, like make designs in your yard. So it's kind of random, but this is gonna work perfect. I'm so excited to show you how my first door turned out. Here it is. Can we just take a moment? I think it looks so beautiful. Look at the side profile. Like, honestly, I think it's such a great dupe, such a great hack. Look at this. I'm so happy and pleased with the way the side profile looks. I did go through and actually fill the side, like between the MDF and the plywood, I filled the side of it with some of that Alex Plus as well, the spackling, and sanded that down. So it really kind of gave a really nice smooth transition. So there's kind of quite a few steps, and I'm still perfecting what I think is the best way to assemble this. The reason I say that is because like it would be so easy to just put everything together, prime it, spray it, you're all good to go. But the MDF has to use a different primer. It has to use the shellac primer, and this one by Zinsser, the bin, is working really well. So anyway, as I go through more, I'm going to learn what the best practice is, and then kind of when we get a little bit further, I'll share with you guys. There's really no right or wrong way to assemble the whole thing. I just wanted a seamless look that was, you know, it's a lot of steps, I feel like, at this first one. But it looks great, so we're gonna keep going. I'm gonna continue to cut all the doors down and the MDF and work on getting everything else assembled today. Mark is here to test my experiment.
Well, actually, I'm more interested in her wood glue applicator, and I'm like, is this how you put on makeup every day?
No, it's definitely not.
Let me just put it on the camera.
No. Okay, so what I did, I had this spare piece of
Here, I'll just pick it
cabinet.
up and show you. She put, and I'm holding it by the piece of trim.
Right.
Right.
Pretty
I'm even
good.
holding it by the bottom of it.
Right.
She wanted to see how strong wood glue is and how well it holds things, so she took her piece of trim that she's doing on the cabinets and just slathered wood glue on it.
Right, because what I've been doing, because this is sealed wood that I'm attaching the MDF to, like this is already sealed. So from what I understand, you're not supposed to use wood glue on sealed wood. Like the adhesion isn't good. So I've been using construction adhesive. Thank you. Yes, I've been using construction adhesive, but I don't love that because, I mean, I love construction adhesive, but not in this case, because it's kind of making it a little bit difficult to get my edges perfectly even because the construction adhesive is so thick. Does that make sense?
It's thick, and I think it tends to expand just a little bit when it actually hardens. I mean, just a slight bit. And
yeah, I don't know. So I wanted to try wood glue to see if that was like actually gonna work.
See if I can rip it off. Nope, I can't. Maybe I can get an edge on this side. Nope.
And that's not even nailed.
No.
That's just wood glue. Like that's it. So wood glue for the win. I think that will work.
We don't have to use nails ever anymore? Let's just make a car out of it.
They say that wood glue is stronger than nails, honestly, but I just didn't know if it would work on this.
Wait, time out.
But it definitely will. Everybody.
I want your sources.
Listen, I am in the DIY community, okay? Thank you. So yeah, I think this is gonna work. I'm gonna switch over to wood glue because it's so much easier to work with too. Hours of sanding, I am done. Praise be that I'm done sanding. I hate sanding so much. It's the worst part of every project in my opinion, but painting is the best part. I know some of you would probably say the opposite, but I am so excited to get these doors painted. So I'm gonna get started on that now. I just felt like I need to hop on and say hi to you guys. It's been a long time. I feel like it's been days of me just sanding and prepping these doors. This is a labor of love, okay? It's a total labor of love, but I'm so here for it because I'm having a blast besides sanding and I'm ready to get these painted. So I'm gonna start by priming everything. I'm gonna prime the front with the shellac primer, and then what I'm gonna do, I wanna share this with you guys, is I'm going to prime the whole front with the shellac primer, okay? And then on the back, I'm gonna use my very beloved paint can here. of the Zinsser, the Bullseye on the back. This is a total dupe, I feel like, for my Ultra Grip primer from Dunn because my Ultra Grip is like 50 bucks and this one's 30, and this one's been working really well. So anyway, I know you guys know that I love my Ultra Grip primer from Dunn but so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna prime all of this first, because what I need to do is caulk on the inside of the cabinet doors here, but because this is MDF, it can't get wet. And when I do caulking, like, I like to keep a wet rag with me. I like to really wipe things down, and I'm gonna have to get it so tight in there that I have to use something that's wet so that I can really get in there. So if I were to get this wet, the MDF can swell when it's wet, and we do not want that, especially at this point in the project. So I'm gonna prime everything first, and then I'm gonna caulk. It feels backwards to me because normally I would caulk and then paint, but here's what we're doing. We're gonna try it out. Keep your fingers crossed. We've made it this far. Let's keep going. The doors look so good this morning. I'm so excited. Everything adhered really nicely. It looks super good. I let everything cure completely overnight, so I am ready to paint today. There are two quick things I'm gonna do before I start painting, and I'm gonna run some caulk on the inside edge here, so that way I don't have any paint collecting. It's a really, really tight space, but there's just the tiniest bit of a gap where paint can collect. I just think that looks cheap. So I'm going to run some caulk in there. And then I'm also going to lightly sand everything down with some 220 grit sandpaper. You guys have heard me talk about this little sanding block before. I absolutely love this. I picked this one up from Ace. I do have a similar one linked to my Amazon storefront. So I'll link it for you guys. But the little pads are removable, and it's just a game changer. I don't know what it is about the shape of this. I just freaking love this thing so much. So I'm gonna lightly sand everything down before I paint, because the smoother you can get that surface, the smoother that the paint is going to look. And so I probably, depending on how my first coat looks, once I spray it, I probably will maybe even sand in between my first and second coat of paint as well, just to keep everything really nice and smooth. Quick change of plans, which I think are really funny actually. I'm gonna stop caulking. I did 2 doors and I can't see the caulking because it's white against the white primer. So I'm like, I think I got all the caulk up, I don't know, and then I wouldn't know until I paint. And at that point, it's too late. So I'm going to do my first coat of paint, and then I'm gonna caulk everything, because then I can see the caulk against the doors. If I had colored caulking, that would work too, but I just don't have any, and I'm not willing to go to the store over just that. I make enough trips to Home Depot in a week, and I'm not doing it for that, okay? So I'm going to do my first coat of paint, caulk everything, and then do my second coat of paint, and then we're gonna be moving and grooving. It's gonna be great. I love the way that these doors look so far. Look how cute. Can you believe we did this? We did this, you guys. We actually made this happen and come true, and I'm so excited to see them painted. So let's do this. Spraying went pretty well. I have 3 out of the 9 doors that are gonna need a little bit of TLC because my sprayer got clogged. And so on the first door that it totally clogged up on, I like had to roll it, just try to everything, like paint it, figure it out, flatten it out, because it was left like big, huge splatter marks. So I was like, that's not gonna work. So this one's gonna need help. And then on this one, it left me this weird stripe right here. So I'm just gonna have to lightly sand that area, but that's okay. The rest of them look really, really, really nice. Nice and smooth, so pretty. Here's it drying. It looks really good, and how beautiful is this color? I love it so much. And I can definitely say, like, as they're drying, this one over here is drying, still tacky, but I can kind of see more that the sheen is just, it's that low sheen. Whereas if I was gonna do semi-gloss, it would look a little bit more like how, I don't know if it shows up on camera. You guys see how that gloss is? I just don't like that. So that's drying. So that's what semi-gloss would look like. So I'm glad I went with the low sheen, but so far so good. Hopefully they dry okay. I'm gonna let them dry for a super long time because it's actually pretty cold out here. And I probably shouldn't be painting, but here we are. Isn't this such a pretty sight? All these cabinet doors. I walked out to my garage this morning and I was like, this is heaven! Oh my gosh, I have to show you this loud car going by. Okay, I have to show you how beautiful they look. And the low sheen on these, I love it so much. I didn't want like super shiny. I know I've been telling you guys that. And this is just perfect. You have just a little bit of reflection, so it looks very professional, nice and smooth. They are so pretty. So I'm gonna lightly sand everything, do the second coat on them today, and then I will let them completely cure until tomorrow because it's so cold out. I need to just, the paint is gonna take a lot longer to cure. I wanna make sure it's totally cured before I flip them over and work on the backside. I am just gonna go ahead and roll the back of them. I'm not gonna spray them. I don't even wanna, once they're like good, I don't even wanna get out the sprayer again. I would much rather just hand roll them because that's guaranteed that I can get a good finish. So that's the plan. Hopefully it goes well and I can get that one fixed and we're gonna have a super fun day. The most stressful experience of my life. Okay, maybe not the most, but it was very, very stressful. I have paint on me. Look at my hands. I've been scrubbing my hands trying to get all the paint off, and this is about where I'm left off. This is why I can't get manicures, okay? This is why I can't get my nails professionally done because I just destroyed them. But what happened is, just like yesterday, I was painting and I told you guys I had that big like glob of paint that just fell on the door and I was like, what the heck? And at that point, like, it's not gonna level out, like it's ruined, right? So I had that happen again to me today. And so I was freaking out and I was like, no, not again. And so first I tried to brush it and then I was like, okay, maybe if I brush it and then I spray it again, maybe I'll have enough paint that it will level itself out. Well, then I had too much paint and I had another drip. And so I was just like, oh my gosh, this door is just like, there's no going back at this point. So the only thing I could think of in the moment was to just start scooping the paint off. And so I literally took a wet rag and I just started scooping all the paint off. And then I called for Mark and had him bring me a bucket of water and multiple rags. And I just kept scooping the paint off of this door and I wiped all the paint off. And it was a hot mess, like a freaking mess, but it worked. It totally worked. And then I resprayed the door and now it looks good. Now I'm gonna have some Cheez-Its because I'm stressed out and I want some Cheez-Its.